Welcome to your Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast, hosted by B. Crutelli. This is a space for everyone to learn anything and everything related to healthy healing, including naturopathic medicine, music, dance, yoga, meditation, eco-fashion, mothering, and organic lifestyle choices. Topics for expanding universal consciousness. Come join me weekly as we delve in and begin this journey, sharing valuable content gathered over the past 3 decades, helping to support a healthier and more sustainable future for all. Oh, hello. Hello there. Thank you for joining me today on this beautiful afternoon. I woke up with no fog this morning, and it was much to my surprise. I am writing today on the importance of hydration at the end of summer 2025. I wanted to touch base on this topic earlier in the summer, but hey, it's still summer. We've got a few weeks left, and we are in the middle of equinox, a beautiful full moon equinox last night. Yes, it was. We are going to go over hydration for optimal health, myths, and more. Going to give you the myths about hydration and some tips on staying hydrated for health. Because if we are not properly hydrated, which most of us are not, then we are not having our best health experience, and we will fall into disease, whether that's with a virus or maybe it's something more serious. And so I just thought I'd chime in as a reminder to everyone out there who is wanting to be their very best, healthiest self, including me. I love writing about things to remind myself as I'm writing and learning and researching along the way. So we must have daily awareness that when we don't have enough water flowing within our bodies, that our health will suffer in some way. And once we feel thirst, once we get thirsty, then we are already beyond dehydrated, meaning that some kind of damage may have already taken place within that we can try to reverse, or if we keep ignoring the issue, and every day we're making ourselves go into dehydration, then a long-term illness is going to set in eventually. So it's very important to pay attention, just like eating organic food, good organic food, exercising, sleeping enough, and being grateful are all avenues to our well-being. So is our hydration. Now, some hydration can transpire through food, like fruits and veggies when we eat them daily, which we should be. And we can get, up to 20% or more from our food, while the rest is essential through water, but not just any water, right? Pure water. We don't want to be drinking water from our tap. I know sometimes we have to, and it's better than nothing. But tap water has lots of toxins in it, and it's really not recommended. So if you live somewhere where you have a well, that's great. Although sometimes wells can have certain things, like certain types of minerals that are minerals that you don't want more than a trace amount. And so if you're drinking a lot from the well water, then it can become problematic. So I always say that unless you know for sure, get your well tested. You can see exactly what minerals are in it or contaminants, because there are things like arsenic and lead in some well water, just to be sure. And then you can freely drink from your water for free. And that is really the best. Or if you live by a spring, I've lived by a couple of springs in my life, and it was such a blessing. You can just drive right up, fill up your water bottle, or your big, water container from the spring. Have that water to drink. There are some springs that are not very pure, though, that have bacteria contamination. So you do have to be careful there and drink at your own risk or get it tested. So just be sure you know what you're drinking. Water is very important to drink every day. Purity factor is known to be without added chemicals. So when I say pure water, we don't want to be drinking water with added chemicals, which tap water is. So when we only drink purely filtered water, though, or reverse osmosis water or still water, we unfortunately are not getting the most beneficial hydration. Hydration essentially needs to penetrate our cells in order to detox out harmful toxins that cause disease. And also, we are absorbing the water more when it has the minerals in it. So spring water, that's why spring water is best, because it has essential trace minerals already in it naturally, and your body is going to absorb it more readily than any other kind of water. Water is best absorbed when the H2O molecule is connected with certain minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium that all help your body absorb water by acting as electrolytes that regulate our fluid balance. A balanced mix of these minerals in water promotes efficient cellular absorption and retention, hence why you find them in electrolyte powders and drinks for ensuring proper hydration. Current research is showing that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Yeah, that's what I mean. Most of us really are not paying attention to this enough. Healthy people have kidneys that can excrete extra fluids if needed to maintain the proper fluid balance or homeostasis internally. We are made of water more than any other substance. Makes sense since we come from the earth, and the earth is also mostly water with minerals, right? The ocean, which is most of the earth, takes up most of the mass of the earth, is filled with essential minerals, right? Which then gives life to everything else. Sometimes we also can overdrink, though, even water. This is called hyponatremia, which is often related to water retention, which dilutes the body's sodium levels, leading to an imbalance where total body water exceeds total body mass. Though this is usually less of an issue unless you have a condition that may prevent a healthy fluid cycle. So here are 6 hydration myths and tips. If you are not thirsty, you're not dehydrated yet. That's a myth. Check your urine color, the volume of your urine, if you're only going a little bit at a time, the frequency. Sometimes if your body starts kicking into feeling like it needs to go more, but there's not a lot coming out, that's a sign of infection, right? So those are all, signs. Urine color, certain vitamins, especially B vitamins, high protein diets can darken the color of your urine, as well as certain foods like, beets and asparagus and stuff also. But, a lot of us are taking vitamins. I think it's most important of how often, your frequency, that you're going enough, the volume when you go. And of course, you don't want the color to be super dark. That's not a good sign. Myth number 2, more water is better. This isn't always true. Depends on the individual, so some should beware. Prone ones to this include endurance athletes, congestive heart or kidney failure conditions, Addison's disease. Those are, people that have those conditions, or if you're an endurance athlete, you should beware of drinking too much water. Endurance athletes, you really just, need to make sure your kidneys are functioning properly and that you're getting the proper minerals in your water and you're not having too much sugar. Symptoms of hyponatremia are nausea, confusion, headache, or even convulsions. Myth number 3, drinking liquids is the only way to stay hydrated. 20% can be obtained through foods with high H2O content, like our fruits and vegetables. Cucumbers are very high, right? Citrus, watermelon is very high. Celery has a lot of water in it. So drinking liquids is not the only way. If you are having enough fruits and vegetables, you also are getting a lot that way. And that food is also going to have the minerals already in it. So it's going to be highly absorbable. Myth number 4. Everyone should drink 8 glasses of water a day. How many times have we heard this growing up, right? Depends on what generation you're in, but I think there were many generations that heard this. It's really best to use your body weight as a guide and then your age. Body weight, I've read a few different things. It could be, it just depends on the individual. But I read something today that was contrary to the last thing that I had learned, which was half of your body weight in ounces is what you should be drinking in water. And then I think you can kind of change that depending on your age, if you're an athlete, if you're sick, whatever you're dealing with. But then I read something today, and I don't know the date on it. I would have to see. But it was a pretty reputable website that I'm going to link in the show notes that said a third of your body weight. But then some of the other things that they were stating too, it was a website on aging. But a couple of the other things seemed kind of old school or just seemed like a little off, like things I definitely don't agree with. They said something about drinking water like with every meal, and that can be true a little bit. You want to drink like warm water. You want to make sure it's not cold if you're drinking liquid with your meal. It's really best for digestion. You don't want to be drinking too much, like maybe, a quarter to a third of a cup during mealtime. Otherwise, you're just diluting your nutrients. You're diluting your enzymes to break down your food, and it's really not good for digestion. It's better to drink more, maybe a half hour before eating, but then to wait like an hour after eating or more, depending on what you ate. So you're not, again, diluting your enzymes that are very essential for your digestion of your food and getting the proper nutrition and absorption from that. So yeah, they said something about only a third of your body weight in ounces, and I just don't think that's really enough. Maybe that's for people that are much older, because I know as you get older, you really need to pay attention. Evidently, there's certain medications that elderly take that make them not feel like thirsty, or, probably they're just not even maybe cognitively thinking or being aware of how to take care of themselves. So they really need the help in doing that, because it's still important, right? But maybe their body weight or their activities, or there's different things that are influencing how much water they need. So they may not need as much as, when you were younger, and that makes sense. But they still need to be hydrated, and they need more help with this. Myth number 5, sports drinks are best for rehydrating. Only for longer workouts over an hour. Okay. Under an hour, water is best to bounce back. Avoid sugars and check labels. There are many sports drinks that are just loaded with sugar. Gatorade is highly toxic. That company probably made millions and probably billions of dollars. And I would say they were probably making a lot of people sick too, because I think there are a shit ton of athletes out there that probably drank Gatorade way too much, and it had so much sugar and artificial shit in it that it really, I'm sure, was not behooving their health at all. So adding flavors like lemon, berries, cucumber, mint leaves, those are all great things you can add to your water. Another one is lemon balm. I love, adding lemon balm. I also want to mention, as I'm like going through my blog here, I'm finding all these things that I did not put in here. Tea. Drinking herbal tea is a great way to consume your water. You're adding the herbs, herbs are like vitamins. So they've got the vitamins and the minerals there. They've got the nutrients in there, and it's just water with the nutrients, right? So herbal teas are a great way, especially if you're not sweetening them, to get your hydration any day. Coconut water, spring water, or filtered water with a pinch of Celtic sea salt or another kind of sea salt is also a great way to hydrate. These are alternatives to sports drinks. Myth number 6, drinking beverages containing caffeine or alcohol are hydrating. Absolutely not, as these substances actually dehydrate you. And I just had to put this one in there. Most of you already know this, but I had to throw that one in since I've been trying to explain this to my dad forever now. He thinks that he can just drink coffee in the morning and beer later in the day and, even soda or whatever during the day and then beer at night. And all of these things are not hydrating. They all have caffeine and alcohol. So yeah, no wonder that America is so sick. I'm just speaking of this country. I know there's other countries that are doing this too, because of our influence. Yeah, we really need to just help us, right? We really all need help. And so that's what I'm trying to do is put out some information, and hopefully it'll get into the right hands. So here are some endless benefits of hydrating. Your brain will work better. Your blood will circulate better. Your heart will beat more rhythmically. And your breathing will regulate and be calmer. Detoxification will enhance. Temperature will be balanced. So if you're somebody that gets really hot, or you get really cold, or your thyroid is dysregulated, this will also help. Pain relief will be diminished. So much of pain is just from being dehydrated in our joints, wherever inflammation is happening in your body. A lot of it could just be stemming from being dehydrated. Weight loss management will be better. You will have better digestion and your energy will improve. So why not, try to pay attention to this more? And when should we be paying attention? Daily, every day. Just make this routine. During exercise, when sweat occurs, during deep breathing and meditation, it will help keep you balanced. If you're hydrated, you will be able to be in those states longer and more sustainably. It's best to hydrate between meals, like I was saying, not during meals, to avoid diluting your digestive enzymes. During illness, you may need more detoxification help. After drinking caffeine or alcohol, increase your water as well. Always best to drink mineral water or spring water whenever possible. Just remember that. I've been buying bottles every week. There's some really good ones on the market. Cascade is one of my favorites. And, it does cost money. These bottles do come in glass and they're from sustainable sources. And, it's worth it. Just even if I buy 2 or 3 of them a week, it's costing me like $5 a week, maybe $6, $7 a week. But I know I'm getting that healthy water in my system. So I really thank you for listening today and for being here. And next week, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking about human design. I've been really wanting to talk about that for a while. I'm just going to kind of go into my own human design chart a little bit and kind of break it down a little bit. And it's a very complex topic. It's very interesting. And I encourage any of you to get your chart. You can do that free online. It's like astrology times 10. And I hope you have a beautiful week, a beautiful day wherever you are. I really love and appreciate all of you that are here, that are doing good in this world. And let's all work together and support one another. Peace and love. Mwah. Thank you all so very much for listening today. I genuinely hope that you learned something, and I invite you to join me each week so you never miss a conscious wellness beat. This podcast holds a special place in my heart dedicated to my evolution here, my passionate mission to spread more consciousness for the much needed wellness on Earth. Come join me as a guest as well. Let's collaborate, making change for future generations.